Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Joseph Crudup Show. Today is Monday, November the 14th, 2022. Well, you had a nice time. I hope you had a great time, and I hope you're watching the game last night. The Panthers did not play Sunday. They played last Thursday against the Falcons, and they won the game. And yes, it has. It really has. It was a good day. But one thing I'm mad about is the game. One thing that really matters about it is the game. It was some kind of strange that happened here in Lambeau Field. And you were up 28-14 in the fourth quarter, and you let Aaron Rodgers do two touchdowns on, and then fail. You failed to get to do something else that happened here. What I gotta say is, damn, what a game, what a race, and it was an unbelievable upsetting moment and outrageous. The Dallas Cowboys have injury. 6-3. In 6-3, it stays that way. Okay? It doesn't even make no sense. Aaron Rodgers had made a turning point last night, doing two touchdowns in a row to tie this to have this game tied up at 28. The Cowboys up 14. The Cowboys did tie this game, had this game tied. The game is tied at 14 in the beginning of the second half, right? And they're up 28-14. But then in the fourth quarter, it really came. It happened. It happened like this and that. Aaron Rodgers, he drew two touchdown passes last night and tied this game up at 28. Something went wrong for Dallas. It really has. It really turned. It came 21 and one of the stupidest times I ever seen in my life. They are up 28-14, and no, they kind of messed up last night. They kind of messed up. This, I mean, last night it came just like a collapsing time. Okay, and that's Prescott and the rest of the team will know what they're going to do and how they're going to start Aaron Rodgers on doing something. Because Aaron Rodgers is the best guy. Had the Packers to tie this game up 28-28 when they were 3-6. 3-6 as of right now. But don't get me wrong, it's just unfair. That was insane. That was insane when Aaron Rodgers drew, and Dallas is giving up two touchdowns in the fourth quarter. They were down two touchdowns in the fourth quarter last night, and they're going to feel like, oh my God, we can't stop Aaron Rodgers. We can't stop Aaron Rodgers. We can't stop all those guys. Green Bay will let anyone who concerned or cheesy fans show Aaron Rodgers, and he's the best guy to do it. He's making the comeback, just like Eli Manning did. But no, Aaron Rodgers did make a comeback last night. He had a great time last night. He has the frustrations early in the game, early in the second half, and then late in the second half, he took it. He took it. Two touchdowns in a row. It's incredible. It's unbelievable. And that Dallas Cowboys couldn't win that game. Didn't hold on to it. They never hold on to the win for now. They just kind of blown away. And then in overtime, Aaron Rodgers, that Prescott was in here doing his thing, trying to keep it going. They fell short. Then they had to punt. Then Aaron Rodgers drove midfield, and then they on field goal range. And what could they do? They kicked the field goal and they won 28. 31-28. So Dallas Cowboys went on to lose that game, 31-28. And so I just made sure that something isn't right for real. Something isn't right. That Prescott is kind of maybe not in the best mood ever. But now they'll get right back to it. Now here's what happened, folks. And start right about now. It seems look as you might see. I don't even imagine what is going on for the Dallas. What is going on for Dallas Cowboys? It looks like everything is far apart in the fourth quarter. Last night it just fell apart. Mike McCarthy, of course, used to won the Super Bowl used to be the former Green Bay Packers coach who won the Super Bowl back in 2011 against the Steelers. But anyway, it is what it is. But no, it is just great. Look, he had a lot of respect for Aaron Rodgers. And somehow it is what it is, and that's the good stuff. But anyway, his team got to bounce back. He and the Cowboys have to bounce back. That's what it is. That's what it says. I mean, you can't blame Darren McCartney. But anyway. Well, look. Let's take a look what has happened here now. Let's like this. Now, the Dallas Cowboys covering up a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter with the lead back sideline. Now, at first glance, there seems to be no imperishable impact for Ezekiel Elliott being held out against the Green Bay Packers. Tony Pollard went for 115 yards on 22 carries, as the Dallas Cowboys grinding out 159 yards on the ground at Lambeau Field. Every rookie Markley Davis looked solid, busting in 3 holes to rack up 38 yards on just 5 attempts. So it wasn't so much the production. The Cowboys missed with Elliott's sideline for the second straight game with a sore knee. But did the Cowboys miss that closer? It's tough. Spectacular, Elliott said. It's tough to not be able to close that game out. You just gotta be able to learn from the mistakes, and get back to it. Dallas held a 28-14 lead entering the fourth quarter, on to watch Allen Washington and Aaron Jones lead a late push that resulted in a 31-28 overtime win for the Packers. Now, I'm not sure what it is. It all counts to be that is what is happening for Dallas. And now there are 6-3. The Cowboys lost for the first time since Dak Prescott's return and dropped to third place in the NFC East. Dallas is at the NFC North leading Minnesota Vikings 8-1 next. The Cowboys had only 2 first downs in the fourth, both coming on their opening drive of the quarter. Perhaps having Elliott pound away at the Packers' front might had extended that drive and lead 2 points, with Dallas up 28-21. Another scoring might have been enough to put Green Bay away. Elliott, with 2 weeks to rest, perhaps if he was going to go Sunday, but was stretching and scratching before the game. I got in and got rep in practice last week. On Wednesday and Thursday, I had some solo days. he said, but I wasn't all the way confident in the knee. Wow. Ellis said he's going to be do anything I can to get away from Minnesota. Which has been one of the league's biggest surprise this season. The Cowboys are also looking to rebound from a loss for the first time in nearly a month. And it says we just gotta get back to the drawing board and figure out the Vikings, Elliott said. Now it looks like to be it's really really unbelievable moment. And yes it has. Now and take a look at this. Cowboys lose control. That's Prescott and Mike McCarthy messes at the loss at Packers. Now, it says we got to learn from this and make sure that we grow. It's still a long season, and we have to control what we can. That's Prescott on the Cowboys loss at Green Bay. It is always a good sign when a head coach and his quarterback speak the same language and share the same message in the victory or defeat. The Dallas Cowboys, with coach Mike McCarthy and QB Des Prescott, at least had that. I thought McCarthy saying after being overtaken by the Green Bay Packers at 38 to 20, excuse me, at 31 to 28 loss OT loss Sunday. We were in total control in overtime. Control, added Prescott. It was a tough game, a tough environment, and we got to learn from this and make sure that we grow. It's still a long season, and we have to control what we can. Control. The McCarthy contents and the Prescott contents different. Of course, the coach is trying to discredit the divide while trying to explain some controversial decision making on his pass or his part. The QB, meanwhile, is trying to turn the page to the big picture. So, gonna continue now. But this much is true. The Cowboys were not and are not in control. Two interceptions thrown by Prescott, on which there is shell blame, need to be overcome held by Dallas, and there were. The Cowboys entered the fourth quarter with a 14-point lead, one that is hilarious, insurmountable, and they are allowing the Packers to win anyway, and they went the control. And then there is the point that Prescott is trying to make a point that is assessment about the NFC standings. Certainly, the Cowboys not that there is anything wrong. With a 6-3 record, have dropped to the bottom of the pile of good times and more. They trailed the 8-0 Eagles in the NFC East, with Philly preparing for Monday night home bout with the underdog Washington. Prescott said that McCarthy is disappointed that we didn't take that step that we talked about, laying another brick and building on what we accomplished to this point. It's tough. It was a playoff environment. For us, it's about sticking together, knowing what we're doing, where we're going, and where we are, and who we are. And where are the Cowboys? Where are the 6-3 Cowboys going? Nice on to Minnesota. The Vikings boosting an 8-1 record, and Dallas searching for a way to regain control. Well, we have to do what you gotta do. But you gotta keep moving on and get to the drawing board and go to Minnesota and beat them this Sunday. That's all I have to say for now. This is Joseph Crudup. Please subscribe to this video and like me on YouTube. I'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Take care.